Hello, my name is Jane Clarke and welcome to my presentation. This presentation forms a part of my final major project for my MA studies in marketing and digital communications. I'm excited to take you through my research and vision for the future of marketing, particularly in the unique context of the Falkland Islands. To give you some background, I've built my academic and professional career around marketing and innovation. With a strong foundation that I built during my undergraduate degree in business management, I developed a deeper understanding of how marketing drives growth and transformation within businesses and communities. This interest grew further as I gained hands-on experience in roles that focus on helping businesses to adapt to increasingly digital and competitive global marketplace. I've lived in the islands all my life, apart from 5 years that I studied in the UK to gain my qualifications. I gained my bachelor's degree with the University of Wales, Trinity St David in Swansea, and I chose business management. I chose this degree because it would cover a wide range of business practices, as at the time I wasn't sure what area I wanted to specialise in, and I knew there was a need in the islands for very varied skills. Upon completing my undergraduate degree in 2015, I returned to the islands and began working for the Falkland Islands Company Limited as a retail manager. I'd always intended to return to my islands and to impart the knowledge I'd gained and make an improvement in my community. I managed a gift store catering to both the local community and the tourism industry in the islands for just over 7 years. And in that time, I had the ability to expand my business knowledge and to put into practice things I had learned over the course of my degree. After returning to some normality after COVID, I decided the time was right to make a career change. As the retail manager of a small store, marketing was only a part of the duties that I was required to perform, and I was interested in moving into this area. I thought the time was right to expand my knowledge and in turn to expand the marketing practices in the islands. My goal in life has always been to assist others, as this is where I find my joy. After extensive research, I decided I would undertake my master's degree in a part-time capacity, as a new role had come up within the Falkland Islands Development Corporation for a business engagement officer. Within my role, I have managed the marketing activities of the corporation, along with working with clients in developing our youth entrepreneur scheme to encourage the future business leaders of the islands. My current studies have allowed me to refine my expertise, with my MA providing an advanced framework for tackling real-world marketing challenges. The course has enabled me to analyse how global trends, like AI-driven personalisation and ethical marketing, can be tailored to fit unique local contexts. Over the years, I've worked on several projects, including consulting with small businesses on digital transformation strategies. These experiences have shaped my ability to identify barriers to growth, such as limited resources and outdated practices, and develop actionable solutions that are both innovative and practical. If I could create a job for myself, the current role that I'm in is that. It fulfills all of my requirements and I enjoy it immensely. I'm passionate about my islands and I want to dedicate my life, both professional and personal, to the growth and development of my community. This research project reflects all of those passions and skills. I chose to focus on the Falkland Islands because it represents the challenges faced by many remote smaller island economies worldwide. Despite significant economic progress, businesses here struggle with limited access to high quality internet, resource constraints and knowledge gaps, making it difficult to adopt modern marketing practices. In this presentation, I will explore how these barriers can be overcome. We'll discuss some emerging challenges in marketing and digital communications, such as the role of ethical marketing, AI tools, and the importance of community-driven strategies. I'll also share actionable recommendations from my research, such as building digital infrastructure, offering training programs, and implementing tailored marketing regulations. Finally, I'll reflect on how this project has shaped my career aspirations. I envision a future where I help businesses in the islands unlock their potential by adopting strategies that combine innovation and stability. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to sharing this journey with you and demonstrating how strategic, future-ready marketing can empower even the most remote communities and economies to thrive. We are living through an exciting digital age where artificial intelligence, immersive tech, ethical dilemmas, and new economic models of influence are reshaping how brands connect with audiences. The COVID-19 pandemic acted as a catalyst for many of these shifts, but they were already in motion. In this presentation, I'm going to explore 4 key challenges that I believe will define the marketing and digital communications landscape over the next 5 years. particularly within the unique context of small island economies like the Falkland Islands. Expansion of digital infrastructure, ethical and transparent marketing practices, AI and data-driven marketing, and tourism-focused branding strategies. Challenge 1. Expansion of digital infrastructure in small island economies. The first, and perhaps most foundational challenge in the future of marketing and digital communications, is the expansion of digital infrastructure, particularly within small island economies like the Falkland Islands. In an increasingly connected world, digital inclusion is no longer a luxury, but a basic necessity for economic resilience, competitive marketing, and social development. In the Falkland Islands, connectivity remains both a barrier and a transformational opportunity. The lack of high-speed internet limits access to global markets, digital services, and scalable e-commerce. Without robust connectivity, even the most innovative digital marketing strategies are hindered by limited reach and poor user experience. Internet access in the islands is not only restricted in terms of bandwidth, but also remains expensive, posing a substantial barrier to both residents and visitors. The lack of high-speed, reliable internet continues to restrict both marketing practices and broader digital participation, from limited access to cloud-based tools and e-commerce platforms to difficulty engaging with global audiences through social media or digital advertising. This connectivity gap undermines not just economic opportunity, but also creative potential and communication agility. The drive towards digital equity has accelerated post-COVID. The pandemic highlighted the need for resilient digital infrastructure as governments and organisations worldwide were forced to shift services online. This expansion is not without its challenges. High costs of installation, maintenance, and limited technological capacity present serious barriers. These constraints also present an opportunity for sustainable innovation for small island economies. Solar-powered connectivity solutions, satellite-based 5G infrastructure, and regional digital alliances could serve as viable models. In marketing terms, stronger digital infrastructure means more opportunities for SMEs to engage with e-commerce, digital advertising, and remote services, reshaping not just communication, but also the economic prospects of isolated communities. The expansion of digital infrastructure is a linchpin for all other themes in the future of marketing in small island economies. Without intervention, this gap could hinder the growth and competitiveness of local enterprises, both domestically and internationally. In the next 5 years, there is still a long way to go for the quality of the internet to reach a standard that would be acceptable in the modern world. It is crucial for the Falkland Islands to modernise its approach to marketing to ensure that the continued growth and competitiveness of its businesses. While the costs and geographic hurdles are considerable, the opportunities for transformation through innovation, strategic partnerships, and sustainable design are equally compelling. For communities like the Falkland Islands, it's not just about catching up with the rest of the world. It's about creating a future-ready digital foundation that supports growth, inclusivity, and resilience. Challenge 2. The rise of ethical and transparent marketing practices. The second emerging challenge that will shape the future of marketing in the next 5 years, particularly in the context of small developing markets like the Falkland Islands, is the rise of ethical and transparent marketing practices. This reflects the broader global pivot towards accountability, social responsibility, and trust building in brand-consumer relationships. In the Falkland Islands, we're simply governed by the standards of our community. The Falkland Islands face both a risk and an opportunity. On one hand, the island lacks formal data protection regulations or advertising standards, comparable to the General Data Protection Regulation in the European Union, or the California Consumer Privacy Act, or the UK's Equality Act. This absence creates a potential vulnerability for unethical practices, digital manipulation, and loss of consumer trust. On the other hand, the Falklands can proactively establish its own ethical marketing frameworks, drawing on best practices globally while tailoring them to local values. By creating its own code of ethical marketing conduct, informed by global best practices but rooted in local values, the Falkland Islands can establish itself as a progressive and trustworthy destination for both tourists and investors. Transparent digital communications will be increasingly essential. This includes disclosing data usage, aligning brand purpose with practice, and creating inclusive content that reflects the diverse and globalized audience now accessible through digital channels. From an academic standpoint, we are in the midst of a conscious consumerism revolution where purchase decisions are increasingly informed by personal values and socio-political concerns. In this new landscape, brands must go beyond performative gestures and instead demonstrate integrity through ethical sourcing, truthful messaging, and inclusive representation. As digital marketing increasingly relies on AI and algorithmic targeting, ethical concerns around data usage, surveillance, and consumer profiling come to the fore. We are warned in the rise of surveillance capitalism, where consumer data is harvested and commodified in ways that undermine autonomy and informed decision-making. Small businesses in the Falklands, even unintentionally, could find themselves implicated by these practices if ethical standards are not clarified and upheld. Transparent digital communication must include clear privacy policies, consent-based data tracking, and honest disclosures about sponsored content and advertising intent. Ethical marketing also intersects with environmental responsibility. With climate change intensifying, greenwashing, the practice of misleading consumers about the environmental impact of a product or service, is now met with public backlash and legal consequences. According to the UN Environment Programme, consumers are increasingly demanding eco-label transparency, carbon footprint disclosures, and authentic sustainability storytelling. For the Falkland Islands, which are home to a unique wildlife, marine ecosystem, and ecotourism potential, ethical marketing represents both a moral duty and a brand opportunity. Campaigns that highlight conservation efforts, promote low-impact tourism, and involve local communities in storytelling will resonate with values-led consumers, providing these efforts are genuine and consistent. The rise of ethical and transparent marketing is not a trend, but a systemic shift in consumer expectations and marketing responsibilities. For emerging markets like the Falkland Islands, embracing this shift can build consumer trust, attract purpose-driven tourists and investors, and protect our local businesses from reputational and legal risks. With no legal systems to dismantle, the islands is uniquely positioned to develop future-ready ethical frameworks that reflect both global standards and local cultural authenticity. Challenge 3. AI and data-driven marketing. The third major challenge is the integration of artificial intelligence, AI, in marketing strategy. It is rapidly transforming how marketing functions across all sectors, enabling businesses to make smarter decisions, create hyper-personalized content, and optimize campaign delivery in real time. Globally, brands are leveraging AI to automate tasks, generate content, predict consumer behavior, and deliver personalized experiences. According to the McKinsey Global Survey, AI-enabled marketing can increase return on investment when applied to areas like segmentation, dynamic pricing, and campaign optimization. For small island economies like the Falklands, AI could bridge many traditional resource gaps, enabling smarter consumer engagement without needing large marketing teams or agency support. Chatbots, automated email flows, and AI-powered analytics platforms can deliver scalability. Yet the barrier is not just technological, it is human. Many local business owners lack access to data literacy training or the tools to interpret AI insights effectively. Without foundational knowledge in data handling, privacy, and ethical deployment, the benefits of AI risk being limited to outside consultants, creating dependency rather than autonomy. To realize the full potential of AI, targeted upskilling initiatives must be developed for local businesses. Online courses, community learning hubs, and public-private partnerships can foster digital literacy. Ethical AI use is especially critical, with guidelines needed to ensure transparency, accountability, and bias mitigation in the use of predictive algorithms. With expectations of continued growth and adoption over the next 5 years, for example, platforms like HubSpot and MailChimp now include AI-powered analytics and content suggestions as standard features. While these trends are most visible in large economies and corporations, their potential relevance for small island communities, like the Falkland Islands, should not be underestimated. In regions where manpower and marketing expertise are limited, AI could serve as an equalizer, enabling local businesses to deliver professional, data-driven marketing without needing extensive teams or outsourcing. From my own report, it's clear that small businesses in the Falklands face challenges in reaching wider markets due to geographical remoteness, logistical constraints, and limited digital expertise. AI offers a pathway to overcome these limitations by automating customer communication via intelligent chatbots for tourism inquiries, for example, email marketing with behavioural segmentation, and social media scheduling and analysis. The use of tools like Google Analytics 4, which integrates machine learning to predict user behaviour, ChatGPT for copywriting and FAQs, and Canva's Magic Write for creative ideation could enhance market agility for these small enterprises. The Falklands can adopt lessons from other small economies that have developed ethical AI frameworks in tandem with upskilling. For example, Mauritius has initiated a national AI strategy, including both regulation and skill development, focused on SMEs. The European Commission's ethical guidelines for trustworthy AI can serve as a template even for non-EU regions by outlining the principles of human agency, fairness, and explainability. AI and data-driven marketing represent one of the most disruptive and empowering forces in the next 5 years. For the Falkland Islands, the potential lies in using AI to extend reach, personalise engagement, and optimise campaigns, particularly in sectors like tourism, retail, and e-commerce. However, to translate potential into impact, education and ethical oversight are not negotiable. Through structured digital literacy programs, responsible innovation, and support for local adaptation, AI can become a tool of empowerment rather than dependency, fueling economic resilience, marketing excellence, and community-led growth. Challenge 4. Tourism-focused branding strategies. The fourth challenge is the strategic use of place branding to support tourism growth. The Falkland Islands have significant potential as a destination, rich in wildlife, remote beauty, and historical narratives. Its brand identity is underdeveloped in comparison to competitors like St. Helena, that we explored in our report. By contrast, the Falklands' existing brand is fragmented and lacks consistency, particularly across digital platforms. There is a limited, high-quality visual content, and user-generated material is sparse, further limiting international awareness. This misalignment between tourism potential and brand reach presents both a challenge and an opportunity. Smart digital campaigns, grounded in authenticity and co-created with local voices, and targeted to eco-conscious travellers, could differentiate the Falkland Islands and contribute meaningfully to its economy over the next 5 years. As the global tourism sector continues to rebound and evolve post-pandemic, the strategic use of place branding emerges as a vital tool for economic development in remote destinations. For the Falkland Islands, characterised by pristine wildlife, remote seascapes, and rich history, refining the tourism marketing narrative offers significant potential to strengthen its international profile and generate sustainable income. Tourism-focused branding, when grounded in sustainability, authenticity, and digital storytelling, represents a powerful vehicle for economic development in the Falkland Islands. By addressing the current gaps and challenges in visibility, and by involving local stakeholders in branding strategy, the islands can increase its international awareness, drive tourism revenue sustainably, and build a long-term identity as a unique, respectful, and resilient travel destination. Recommendations for practitioners. As we look ahead to the future of marketing and digital communications, particularly in the context of small island economies like the Falklands, the question becomes, how do we turn these emerging challenges into tangible, locally relevant actions? This section outlines 3 practitioner-focused recommendations designed to support sustainable and future-forward development in the Falkland Islands. These apply both to business owners and policymakers, with the goal of making innovation accessible and inclusive. Recommendation 1. Developing training programs for digital skills. The first, and arguably most critical recommendation, is to address the digital skills gap. While global businesses are racing ahead with AI and data-driven strategies, many small businesses, particularly those in geographically isolated areas, are still unfamiliar with even foundational digital marketing techniques or skills. In the Falklands, this need is amplified. As we discovered in my report, many local entrepreneurs are multitasking across roles. They are acting as the marketer and the customer lead and the operations manager, often without access to relevant digital training. The lack of formal support structures creates a real barrier to modernisation. Recommendation 2. Infrastructure investment and digital inclusion. Digital adoption can only go so far without the physical infrastructure to support it. While the Falkland Islands have made important strides in upgrading broadband connectivity, limitations remain, particularly outside centres. To enable the challenges discussed, whether it's AI-enhanced marketing, immersive tourism content, or real-time e-commerce, the baseline connectivity and access to tools must be improved. Recommendation 3. Introducing ethical marketing legislation. As discussed earlier in this presentation, trust is now currency in the marketing world. Consumers globally, and increasingly, tourists and diaspora communities engaging with the Falklands are seeking transparency, ethical data use, and alignment with their values. However, the Falklands currently lacks formal marketing governance or legislation regarding data collection, privacy, and online advertising standards. This absence creates both a risk, with potential misuse or public backlash, and an opportunity to become a leader in ethical digital marketing practices among small economies. Implementing clear, locally enforced guidelines can ensure the Falklands-based companies maintain the trust of both residents and international audiences. By proactively enshrining these expectations in local frameworks, the Falklands can future-proof its industries against reputational harm and gain competitive edge as a values-led destination. From vision to practice, together these 3 recommendations, skills development, infrastructure investment, and ethical legislation, provide a roadmap for sustainable, future-ready marketing practices in the Falklands. Through these actions, we can help ensure that small island businesses are not just reacting to global trends, but actively shaping their own digital futures with autonomy, trust, and creativity at the centre. My place in the future of marketing. How will I use my major project for my own career progression and the future of the industry? I'm going to use my final major project as a stepping stone for further research and development in the area of marketing in the Falkland Islands, and to start those important conversations with the relevant individuals so that we may improve our practices in the future. My recent report and this presentation are only the beginning. The data I collected with my survey and all the research needs further analysis, and it can be developed. I wish to expand on the research I've done over my master's degree to put forward a paper to our elected members on the Executive Council on the appropriate rules and regulations that I would recommend we begin to establish and investigate. I want to educate the islands on why this is important and work with the community to establish how these rules, regulations, and policy can look to be best suited to govern our islands. My goal is to become a consultant who empowers island communities like the Falkland Islands to adapt global marketing best practices in ways that are culturally respectful, economically viable, and environmentally conscious. There are a wealth of opportunities in the islands to be involved in improving our marketing offering and working with these businesses to ensure that we have an ethical and beneficial direction that will enhance our community while navigating the risk of poor practices. And more importantly, I want to inspire the potential future young marketers in the islands. Having been in my role at the Falkland Islands Development Corporation for 3 years, I have no intention of leaving my current role anytime soon. It really is a joy to be the Business Engagement Officer at FIDC. There is so much within my role that can be expanded and that I can utilise to achieve my goals. My goals of helping our community and educating the young entrepreneurs of the islands. With my position at FIDC comes connections and influence that I would need to push forward for the necessary regulations to be established and to rally for improved internet services. I can educate the businesses of the islands on best practices to either expand or establish their own marketing strategies. In the long-distance future, maybe in the next 5 years, there may be the possibility of establishing the first marketing agency offering services to the island's businesses, but I feel that the position I currently hold is the best place for me at this time. As I reflect on this final major project, both the report and the presentation, it is clear that it represents far more than just an academic exercise. This work has deepened my personal commitment to specialising in small island economies, where the intersection of digital innovation and sustainable development offers both unique challenges and transformative potential. Takeaway from my MA studies. Over the last few years during my degree, I have gained a wealth of knowledge, and I think the most important takeaway I have from my studies is just how much room there is for the Falklands to improve and what my role could be within that. This is very important to me and my future growth as a marketer here in the islands.
I'm aware of the areas where I'm not as skilled, and I wish to continue my professional development after my MA studies to improve upon these areas. I'm in a very lucky position to assist my community and to educate them with the very basics of marketing, and I take that responsibility very seriously. I see such a bright future for marketing in the islands, and I'm really proud to be here. When I look back on my MA journey, the most powerful insight I'm taking with me is this: successful marketing in the modern era means adapting global strategies to fit local contexts. So much of contemporary marketing education and even technology is based on models drawn from urban, high connectivity environments, and yet much of the world operates outside of those paradigms. In the Falkland Islands and other small island communities, applying off-the-shelf solutions without cultural or infrastructural adaptations doesn't just risk irrelevance, it also breeds distrust and disengagement. Learning to contextualize marketing practice has been a core thread throughout my studies. One of the most impactful modules for me was focused on audience insight and storytelling. It emphasized that we're not just selling products or services, we're constructing narratives that either resonate or fall flat, depending on how well they reflect the audience's lived realities. This insight will guide how I design brand campaigns, advise small businesses, and even choose my own collaborators. It affirms my belief in working with communities and not just marketing to them. Above all, it gives my career path clarity and meaning. I want to be part of a generation of marketers who build strategies from the ground up, ones that are locally loved and globally respected. It's also taught me humility. While I've gained many new skills, I now understand the gaps in my own knowledge and the areas that I'm committed to strengthening post-graduation. Ultimately, this insight has given me both clarity and purpose. I see my future not just as a marketer, but as a community advocate, as an educator, and as a strategist. I want to co-create marketing that's grounded in real stories and aspirations of Falkland Islanders, strategies that are locally loved and globally respected. Conclusion. We've explored how marketing is continuously undergoing rapid transformation, from the rise of AI and ethical data usage to the expanding power of creators and immersive storytelling. We've also examined what these changes mean in the unique context of small island economies, especially the Falkland Islands. This presentation highlighted 4 key challenges that I believe will define the next 5 years of marketing: the expansion of digital infrastructure, the demand for ethical and transparent practices, the growing role of AI in customer engagement, and the importance of place-based tourism marketing. We followed those challenges with clear practitioner recommendations, including digital upskilling, infrastructure investment, and the introduction of marketing legislation that prioritizes consumer trust. I also shared my vision for the future, which includes supporting small communities in harnessing marketing as a tool, not just for economic growth, but for cultural resilience and global visibility. As a final thought, I'd like to leave you with this call to action. If you're a business owner, a policymaker, or a creative professional in the Falkland Islands, now is the time to embrace the future of marketing as a powerful opportunity. The tools are available, the trends are accelerating, and what we need is local leadership, collaborative experimentation, and strategic courage. The best way to predict the future is to create it. I believe we, as marketers, strategists, and community members, are all capable of doing just that. Thank you. Thank you for your time and for listening to my presentation. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.